Good afternoon. I'd like to share with you an overview not of the subject matters covered by my office. We deal again with industrial policy, competitiveness, and support policies for the SMEs. My idea was to focus on innovation. I believe that this perhaps is the most important subject. I'd like to talk about the strategy of the Italian government that is very much in line with the strategy as adopted by previous governments when it comes to innovation. We're working hard to make Italy, our country, more attractive so as to draw the attention of other countries. I thought we were going to talk about startups. This apparently is the title of this session. I wanted to talk about innovative startups in Italy. I wanted also to refer to the policy that was developed over the past 3 years on this subject. Innovation and support to innovation are considered as most important for entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, indeed, could be used to disseminate innovation. At the end of 2012, in Italy, a law was adopted on startups, on innovative startups, better said. Now, I won't repeat it again, but I'm sure that you're all familiar with the contribution that innovative new companies can bring about for advanced societies. More than half of the new jobs, as was calculated, were indeed generated by startups. Innovative startups, more specifically, generated also a lot of spillover in terms of more jobs being created. Whenever a job is created in the world of innovative startups, additional 5-6 jobs are created in the service industry, in the non-high-tech world. Up until 2012 in Italy, or actually in 2012, a law, again, as I said, was passed, defining what innovative startup is. Innovative startups are young companies set up less than 5 years ago with low turnover which is lower than 5 million, that aim at innovation and focus on innovation. Indeed, they invest a lot in research and development with a qualified team or holding patents or software. A whole set of measures were developed in Italy to promote startups. Or rather than promoting startups themselves, the main principle was to develop an environment that was favorable for the establishment of setups. There are a number of streamlining of bureaucracy with certain costs being reduced in setting up the company. Now, I'm not going to dwell on each of the measures, but the one which is most important is the one that enables such innovative startups to be incorporated at joint stock companies, using all for tools that are available for the incorporation or for the incorporated companies. A specific labor law was adopted that is known, that it would be known afterwards as Jobs Act in Italy, with a possibility to use temporary contracts. Important incentives have been made available for the investment in equity coming from private investors and corporations, as well as funds. Such incentives range between 19 to 27% for investments ranging from 500 to 2 million euros. So there's something which is very positive, and there's the possibility to be part of the public guarantee on to have access to the fast track public guarantee on bank loans free of charge. Recently, the startup visa was introduced in Italy. Again, a fast track for non-EU citizens wishing to incorporate a startup in Italy, or for scholars or students not members to the EU who can see their visa transferred to a startup visa. So the visa is granted in 30 days. And what I'd like to draw to your attention is that we are experiencing an incredible success with Russia, more specifically, and with Euro-Asiatic countries, Euro-Asian countries. We received a lot of applications, especially from engineers from Euro-Asian countries. We introduced the so-called startup loans, tools that are very used in other countries, enabling startups to obtain loans with a number of allowances, and this is proving to be very successful. Here you have the results 2.5 years away from the adoption of the specific law. The law, as a matter of fact, was implemented after some time, so we can consider that as fully operational only for 2 years. So we had some 5,000 new startups that were developed, and 1,700 new startups are incorporated on a yearly basis, which means that thanks to this piece of legislation, 70% of the high-tech startups are incorporated thanks to this piece of legislation. So these nearly 5,000 startups have some employ more than 25,000 people. Here you see also a number of tools here listed. The public guarantee, for example, enabled startups to obtain as much as 220 million euro of loans. Again, the venture capital market is worth 100 million. So thanks to the success that we scored with the adoption of this law with innovative startups, as of late, the policymakers decided to include innovative SMEs under the title, in the same piece of legislation that was adopted for innovative startups. This piece of legislation was adopted very recently, again, to grant the same benefits also for innovative SMEs. In this case, they are already existing SMEs that, again, are very hard focused on innovation. Here you see again the same tools for innovative SMEs. And now, by way of conclusion, let me introduce you two tools that are very powerful in attracting new investments in research and innovation in Italy. These are two measures that were adopted with a new stability law in Italy. One is to promote research. There are incremental tax credit up to 5 million euro. This is a tax, again, and a tax credit where the state pays for a large part. And then there's the patent box that reduces by 50% the tax quota, and the intellectual property deriving from the patents and deriving from the registered software and to the brands enjoy again this important reduction. This is a very effective, a very powerful tool, because Italy is very strong on brand, is very strong on industrial design, and so having this tax allowance can be very effective in attracting more investments. This is all I meant to say. I'm willing to take your questions if you have any. Thank you.